Charlie Bucket became a dictator. E.T. was hiding from the Empire. And Andy Dufresne is a killer. Sound crazy? Wait until you see the evidence. Number 1. The Thing already won. When MacReady and Childs sit down in that final freezing scene, one of them isn't human anymore. Watch closely, and you'll notice Childs vanish during the station's destruction with zero explanation for his whereabouts. He reappears out of nowhere, completely alone, which is exactly what the creature would do after eliminating everyone else. Here, Childs is not producing visible breath vapor despite the sub-zero temperature, while MacReady's breath is clearly visible. Some viewers argue MacReady hands him gasoline disguised as alcohol to test him, and Childs drinks it without hesitation or reaction. Director John Carpenter deliberately left the ending ambiguous, refusing to give audiences closure. He said the paranoia and uncertainty were always the point, but if you examine the visual clues frame by frame, they all point in one direction. Childs might not be shivering from the cold because the Thing doesn't feel temperature the way humans do. Number 2. Inception's entire mission was Cobb's therapy session. Dom Cobb is the one being helped through Fisher's own psychological breakdown. Throughout the film, Cobb demonstrates abilities that should be impossible for anyone except an architect. The dream world responds to his emotional state, bending and shifting in ways that suggest he's controlling everything from behind the scenes. Think about Ariadne's role in the story. She doesn't act like a student learning the ropes. She acts like a therapist, carefully guiding Cobb through his guilt about his wife's death and forcing him to confront his buried trauma. Every conversation they have pushes him toward emotional healing, not toward completing the mission. Saito's promise at the end reads less like a business transaction and more like someone bringing a patient out of deep therapy. Christopher Nolan built this film on layers of ambiguity, so there's no definitive answer written in stone. But watch how effortlessly Cobb manipulates dream architecture without trying, how the entire narrative serves his emotional journey, and how convenient it is that everything works out perfectly for his redemption. He's not navigating Fisher's subconscious, he's rebuilding his own. Number 3. Andy committed the murders in Shawshank. The Shawshank Redemption works brilliantly as a redemption story, unless Andy was never innocent to begin with. He openly admits to getting drunk, loading a gun, and stalking his wife and her lover on the night they died. His only defense is that he threw the gun away before pulling the trigger. Convenient timing for someone who clearly wanted them dead. The supposed proof of his innocence, Elmo Blatch's confession, is never verified with physical evidence or forensic testing. It's just one convict's story told to another convict, which any court would dismiss as hearsay. Meanwhile, Andy displays genius-level manipulation throughout his decades in prison, running financial schemes, controlling people, and playing the long game better than anyone in the facility. Number 4. E.T. was running from the Galactic Empire. E.T.'s powers aren't just alien biology, they're force abilities. He demonstrates telekinesis strong enough to levitate objects, healing powers that bring Elliot back from the brink of death, and a telepathic bond that connects their minds across distances. When he spots someone dressed as Yoda during Halloween and immediately recognizes him, that's not random. That's someone seeing a fellow Jedi Master. The theory gained serious weight when George Lucas placed E.T.'s species in the Galactic Senate during The Phantom Menace, making them officially part of Star Wars canon. Steven Spielberg and Lucas have a decades-long friendship built on hiding references to each other's films, like two filmmakers playing an elaborate inside joke. But this Easter egg goes deeper than most. Neither director has confirmed E.T.'s connection to the Force, keeping it officially in theory territory. But every power he demonstrates aligns perfectly with what Jedi can do. His ability to sense emotions, manipulate objects with his mind, and heal the dying aren't just generic alien traits. They're specific abilities we've seen in a galaxy far, far away. Number 5. The Cars inherited a dead world. Pixar's cheerful racing universe is actually Earth's graveyard, where self-driving vehicles achieved consciousness after humanity went extinct. These sentient cars inherited human civilization wholesale, copying our architecture, language, social structures, and cultural norms without understanding where any of it came from or why it exists. Look around Lightning McQueen's world, and nothing makes sense from a practical standpoint. Buildings have doors sized for people who disappeared. Road signs display information in human-readable formats. RVs contain living spaces with furniture arrangements that only make sense if someone with hands was meant to use them. The cars aren't creating new culture. They're performing a simulation of human life. Pixar has never addressed this theory directly, which makes the implications even darker. If the cars are running on programming or stored data left behind, they might not even realize they're imitating a dead species. They're just doing what the world told them to do, racing in circles on a planet where their creators are long gone. Number 6. John Wick takes place inside the Matrix. Every impossible action sequence in John Wick makes sense if it's happening inside a Matrix simulation designed for combat training. Keanu Reeves moves with the exact same supernatural precision he demonstrated as Neo, executing techniques that defy human reaction, time, and physics. Bullets fly through crowded areas while bystanders remain frozen, as if they're NPCs programmed to ignore the violence. The Continental Hotel operates on rules that feel coded rather than realistic, an underground system with impossible technology and resources that everyone accepts without question. Then, Lawrence Fishburne shows up playing another mysterious figure operating from the shadows with cryptic knowledge, basically reprising his Morpheus role in a different coat. Directors Chad Stahelski and David Leitch both worked extensively on the Matrix trilogy, bringing their signature style to Wick's choreography. Some fans theorize John Wick is an earlier iteration of Neo, cycling through combat simulations before his awakening. Nothing's officially confirmed, but it explains why reality bends just enough to keep him alive through mathematically impossible odds. Number 7. Snowpiercer continues Willy Wonka's story. Charlie Bucket didn't just inherit a candy empire, he evolved it into something much darker when the world ended in ice. Both Snowpiercer and Willy Wonka revolve around enclosed environments controlled by eccentric leaders who rule through moral tests disguised as entertainment. Wilford even wears a prominent W logo that mirrors Wonka's iconic branding almost exactly. When Wilford mentions certain species going extinct, fans interpret this as a reference to the Oompa Loompas being replaced by children trapped in the train's engine section. The character dynamics mirror each other eerily, with Gilliam playing a role similar to Slugworth, while passengers seem inspired by the warped kids from Wonka's factory tour, particularly Mike TV and Veruca Salt. The filmmakers have stayed completely silent on this theory, never confirming or denying the connection, but the visual parallels stack up too consistently to dismiss.